Somewhere in every argument, beneath the tension, the frustration, the impulse to defend or destroy, there's something quietly unfolding. Not a winner, not a loser, but something else, something becoming. This is Dialectics, how contradiction shapes reality. A way of thinking designed not to eliminate contradictions, but to use them. Where others see conflict as something to resolve, Dialectics sees it as the engine of transformation. A force that shapes understanding, drives evolution, and rewrites reality itself. It begins with a simple structure, an idea, a thesis, a claim about the world. But no idea lives uncontested for long. Soon, a counterforce emerges, the antithesis, the opposite, the challenge. And through the tension between them, neither fully survives. Instead, something new forms, a synthesis, not a compromise, but a progression. A third thing that didn't exist before. This cycle, thesis, antithesis, synthesis, isn't just a method for debate. It's the underlying logic of change itself, of thought, of history, of the universe. You can feel it in the smallest moments. Two people at odds over how to solve a problem. Neither fully right, neither fully wrong. But when their perspectives collide, the fragments rearrange. A better solution emerges. One neither could have reached alone. But this isn't limited to conversation. Dialectics operates at every scale. It was Socrates, walking the streets of Athens, poking holes in assumptions, not to destroy, but to refine. It was Hegel, watching as history itself seemed to oscillate between ideas, only to birth something new from the friction. And later, it was Marx and Engels, applying the same logic to societies, to power, to class, suggesting that history wasn't just a sequence of events, but a living dialectic, a recursive loop of struggle, collapse, and emergence, oppression and resistance, decay and revolution, each contradiction forcing the system to evolve, whether it wanted to or not. But what happens when dialectics steps beyond philosophy, beyond history? Imagine a future where intelligence itself becomes dialectical, where post-biological minds, unbound by human ego, engage not in battles of dominance, but in structured collisions of incompatible perspectives. Two artificial consciousnesses meet. Their algorithms generate models of the universe. The models disagree. But instead of terminating the false one, they fuse. A higher order model is born, not through consensus, but through contradiction. Picture an interstellar civilization where dialectics becomes the mode of science. Physics isn't about discovering the one right theory. It's about engineering the productive tension between models that disagree. Each contradiction births new understanding, like stars collapsing into black holes and exploding into galaxies. Or imagine a digital consciousness that splits itself intentionally. One copy argues for entropy, the other for order. Each iteration accelerates the other, pushing towards solutions no singular frame could have achieved. Even identity, what it means to be a self, could fracture. You could carry multiple versions of yourself within your consciousness, each embodying a different worldview, a different desire, a different bias. They disagree, they battle, they negotiate. And from their conflict, a more complex, more adaptive self emerges. This isn't just science fiction. This is the logical conclusion of dialectics scaled beyond biology, beyond flesh, beyond the slow pace of human cognition. Because dialectics isn't about finding truth, it's about generating it, constructing it from friction, from pressure, from the collapse of what no longer holds. and the process never ends. The synthesis of today becomes the thesis of tomorrow. It faces its own antithesis, another clash, another transformation. This is how ecosystems evolve, how languages shift, how societies grow, how stars are born. It's uncomfortable because it means there is no final answer, no resting point, only a constant unfolding. But maybe that's what makes dialectics not just a philosophy, but a map of how the universe dreams itself into being. In the end, dialectics leaves us with a simple, haunting realization. The world isn't something you discover, it's something you negotiate, over and over, idea against idea, self against self, until the friction itself becomes the fire that lights the way forward.